Hello everyone, I'm Shushu Fly, and this is my first YouTube video. As we can see, now is February 13th, 1942, and we, as the historical Soviet Union, managed to capitulate the Axis and win the entire Europe through the peace conference within 147 days of combat. How do we manage to do this? And this is what I'm planning to show you today. As a new YouTube channel, your support really matters. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe. Let's go to the video. So here we are back in September the 14th, 1941. About 72 hours later, the Germans will be coming. And I will quickly explain the situation right now. We are playing as historical, which means there's no early wars allowed, and I did not puppet Turkey and Romania. I did not attack Poland early. I did not attack Finland in 1936. Why? Because though early wars make things easier, but however, you can also, attack Germany in 1937, and this is not really good. An important thing we've done, though, as we can see in the east, previously we've sent 11 volunteer divisions into China to fight Japan, and we managed to push Japan from Busan into the sea. So we do not need to defend the Japanese borders anymore, because Japan is no longer on the continent. As for the army, we have 234 divisions, and we have 24 panzer divisions. And we can check our tanks. So basically this is what we've designed the tanks. It's a 30 with combat division with an okay soft attack. There consists of 1940 tanks, T-34 with howitzers. And also I added a medium tank destroyer to make sure that we can really fight the tank of the other side. And for the infantry, very important to know, we also added an support anti-tank. I tested multiple times and I realized when we were fighting the German AI in Barbarossa, for our line infantry, it's very important to have a support anti-tank. It just solves a ton of problems. Then we don't need to worry that much about the German tanks. Their tanks will burn out really quickly under normal AI. Doctrines. Because we sent a lot of volunteers to China and we annihilated about 1.5 million Japanese troops using these 11 divisions. So actually we accumulated quite a lot of army XP. So not only did we swap the doctrine to mobile warfare because we want to capitulate the Germans as quickly as possible, and also we managed to click all the way down to the 8th level of modern blitzkrieg. Air Force. It's important to note that to smoothly survive Barbarossa, we have to have a competent Air Force. And this man, Alexander Novikov, can really save our day for the Soviet Air Force. He can provide 0.46 air XP per day, so that we hire him as early as possible, as we can see that we've already basically reached the very bottom of the air doctrine tree. Also, we've sent 600 air wings into the UK to fight an air war on the English Channel. For two reasons. Firstly, we want the air XP. Secondly, since we sent these air volunteers in 1941, about January, February, till now we've already shot down over 1,000 Axis airplanes. So once the war starts, they will no longer have any competence in the air. So we'll have total air dominance, and we will wipe them out as soon as possible. We plan to crush their air force within a month. Factories. We have 455 factories shown here, and however, we've traded 36 factories for resources. So the total number is 491 factories in total. And this is basically what we have at the very start. And let's begin. Now I will quickly go through how the offensive goes. In the north, we have 12 tank divisions under the leadership of Trikov, and the 12 tank divisions would form a two-pronged attack against Konigsberg. In the south, we have another 12 divisions also under Trikov, and their goal is to capture Lublin. This is crucial for the early part of the game so that we can move into the West Poland earlier with supplies. Afterwards, I would also reorganize the Air Force so that the Air Force are in shape, and it is important to note that we have to try to decimate as much planes as possible in East Poland so that we can move into West Poland smoothly, which means we do not need to add too much pressure onto Western Poland at the early stage of the game. We only plan to capture Warsaw within 40 days. After the fall of Konigsberg and encircling about 20 divisions, we've fully captured East Prussia. Afterwards, let's check the Air Force. And we can see that in the air war in East Poland, honestly speaking, the Axis does not stand a single chance. The Battle of Warsaw consists of 3 different stages. The first stage, we would try to grab Lublin from the south using our 12 tank divisions, and also Torun from the north using the other 12 tank divisions. This stage is necessary because we need a foothold for the next stage operations, which provide positions and supply. For the national focus, we would select desperate measures, while in the propagandas we would click victory in hand. Why? Because Mr. Stalin is so desperate for victory. For the second stage, we would attack south from Torun and west from Lublin, and both prongs would cross the Vistula River and meet at Lodz, which is behind Warsaw. For this stage, we would want to encircle the entirety of the German Army Group North and Army Group Center. This would, in an estimate, consist of 100 enemy divisions encircled. And the third stage, which is centered in Warsaw, is cleaning up the encirclement. The Vistula-Oder offensive also consists of 3 different stages and would result in the fall of Berlin. The first stage, as shown, because of the fall of Poland, Germany starts to shift its main air battle focus towards Western Poland, so it's mostly an air war in Western Poland to totally defeat the Axis Air Force. And on land, we would want to capture Krakow and Katowice so that we have a supply station in the southern flank. After gaining an advantage in the air, the second stage of the offensive is an in-depth operation towards Stettin and Küstrin. The tank army would be split into 2 separate spearheads. The first one aims at Poznan and hits towards Stettin, and the second one would gather around Katowice and fight along the Oder River towards Breslau and to Küstrin. So after this round of offensive, we aim to gain footholds along the east banks of the Oder River, as well as conquering the entirety of Pomerania. With the success of the second stage, here we are at the third stage of the operation, the siege of Berlin. November 26, 1941. We are at the capital of the Reich. Now the Reich is doomed to fall. The next part of the operation is to sweep over the entire Western Europe and make sure we do not capitulate Germany before France is controlled, so that we can have France on the peace conference as well. Only one thing to keep in mind is that make sure once in a while stop your tanks to fuel them so that they can run at fastest speed. Otherwise, they might suffer from lack of fuel and that might limit their speed. And that's it. Enjoy. This is the end of our journey. We are going to cross the Alps. The Red Army will be remembered just like Hannibal and Napoleon. The Reich is defeated. Italy is next. Italy may capitulate any time now. As we can see, the total casualties we took is only 237k, which is nothing for the massive Soviet Union. Italy capitulated, so did the Axis. This marks the end of the journey of the great Stalin and his great Soviet Union. According to statistics, at the end we suffered only about 230k casualties and we annihilated about 4 million Axis troops, but most importantly, as shown in the very beginning, through the peace conference we got the entire Europe, and Vichy France submitted to Soviet France, so we also got West Africa. If you want to continue with this run, it's very simple since you have a very good start with Stalin with entire Europe and also Japan in the seas. If you don't want to move on, I would say Mr. Stalin would live a very happy life afterwards, and so does his people. Finally, this is my first YouTube video, so if you like, please click like and subscribe. See you next time.